Welcome, everyone. It's Tune In Tuesday, and I'm Barbara Joseph coming to you from Central Maine. And we are here to share with you some things that we as a community are very excited about. It's about living a life in balance with active wellness. And you're going to hear from a variety of presenters. Among them will be Sue Ellen Lexier from Central Maine, and she has a 30-year background as a former educator. Suzanne Steele from New Hampshire, who comes from corporate IT. Angie Patino from Southern Maine as a registered nurse. And Bob Stalalonis, also from Southern Maine, and he has a background as a software consultant. My background is as an energy healing professional. And our guest later on is going to be Maggie McKee, and she's coming from Vancouver, Canada, with a background in education as a tenured college professor and high school teacher. So we're very excited, and we are glad that you're here to join us. Thank you. So everybody really does want to know how to be healthier and increase their vitality. And we've also discovered that most people are interested to have stronger finances. And there's something called the gig economy that's actually a way where people can boost their own financial stability. We look forward to sharing that with you. As you can tell, we are a diverse group of people, and that we come together and collaborate, and that we have a purpose, and it is to share with people this way of living that has worked so well for us. You know, there's been surveys taken, and it's been discovered that most people have common interests. Everybody wants good health. They want to help other people. Everybody wants to have family time, relationships, community, friendships, good, comfortable finances, and of course, we all want to have time to have fun. But the reality is, most people are juggling all of the demands of life. And there's a lot of stress and anxiety, and that leads to a variety of lifestyle challenges. When you don't get much sleep, your health can become compromised. And you know, in this day and age, we have a lot of environmental toxins to contend with. We're all here on our computers, which is fabulous, but they do diminish our energy. Everybody's pretty familiar with the toxins that are in our home drinking water and in bottled water. And outdoor air is quite polluted, yet indoor air is even more polluted because of all of the outgassing. So it's kind of a scary story, and it really affects us in a lot of ways with chronic conditions. And this is just a short list: ADD, ADHD, Alzheimer's, arthritis, fibromyalgia, heart disease. You know, it's pretty scary stuff, and what's really sad is that it's occurring for younger and younger people. Our children are really at risk. So everybody wants to feel better, live happy, healthy, long, being fit and active. The question is, how can we do that? Times have changed, and the dynamics are a little bit different. So what about if people took responsibility for self-care? That it's actually a process where people choose to make choices to be healthy. Because I believe that if you don't do that, you really won't be healthy. There's so many contenders these days. Every day, each one of us gets to make choices about what we eat, how we think, how we spend our time. If those choices support us, they're positive and affirming, then we're healthy, fit, and active, on top of our game, on top of the mountain, a human being more. Yet, sometimes our choices don't support us, and over time, that creates a lot of stress, which again leads to those chronic diseases. So, what are we going to do around that? Well, this group of collaborative entrepreneurs has been introduced to what we call the NIKKEN Advantage. And Mr. Isama Masuda was a humble man in Japan who was looking for ways to be healthy for himself and his family. And he founded a company based on this one product, a magnetic insole, that gave people energy and balance and a connection with the magnetic field of the earth. But he also gave this philosophy of the importance of being healthy and balanced in all areas of life. How important it is to have an engaged, inspired mind, to keep learning, to have a body that really can perform even with the aging process, to have the whole family healthy and to have quality time, that finances are a big stressor. And what if people could have healthy finances so they have the time, the energy, and the finances to contribute to their communities? So we call this active wellness, and it's spread and become a global company that operates in over 20 countries. And what's so phenomenal is that this has all occurred before the internet, before social media. And it's because the product line that has been developed is so profound and innovative and life enhancing. So we have millions of customers, billions of dollars in sales, and it's all based on nature, replicating the energy of nature and bringing it into our lives with solutions for environment, for lifestyle, for nutrition, and for best ever health. Everybody always loves being out in nature with the warm, nourishing rays of the sun and the refreshing, inspiring energy of the air, and that wonderful, secure feeling of being on the earth. But you know, we don't get to do that so much anymore. So how can we bring that energy into our field to be healthy and energized? Well, over 40 plus years of science and brilliant minds, a whole line of innovative products has been developed. They replicate nature, and they help people everywhere make these wonderful, sustainable changes that truly improve the quality of their lives. And until we can live in nature, we can create and live in a wellness home. It's a brilliant solution. So we're going to take you through an acronym called OWNERS and introduce you with stories about these products and how they have improved our lives. So Sue Ellen, would you like to begin?
Sure, yes. Well, the O in owners is for oxygen. And of course, we all need really good, clean oxygen. So NIKKEN has started with this wonderful Kenko air purifier and the Air Traveler. Wouldn't it be nice if something else could be the first filter for your lungs? And it can. I've had people come to my home, and my home is pet friendly. In other words, we have actually 5 pets, 3 cats and 2 dogs, and that can be a concern for people who have allergies. But I've had people that have brought their inhalers in case they needed them, but they didn't need them. Just because I had this Kenko air purifier in the room next to them. So, you know, it can make a very big difference for people. That's one less stressor on your body. And why not put one of these in your home and make your air as pure as mountain, fresh and clean?
Thank you. And Angie is going to join us now to tell us about water.
Yes, obviously our body is made out of 70% water and our brain is 80%. And what we put in our body is critical because it either cleanses it or creates toxins. Well, this removes it. And we had friends come over and they tasted the water and they said, well, it doesn't taste like anything. It's smooth. Well, I said, technically that's what water is supposed to taste like, so that it cleanses as you go along. And also the shower head, people have commented on the fact that they don't have to use as much soap, and that the water, it feels so clean that when they came out of the shower, they said, oh, this was really refreshing. Tell me about that shower head. So they really notice a difference right off the bat. And because we are human beings, this is an experiment with water, and it's tap water, reverse osmosis, and well water is the second one. And the last one is the NIKKEN water. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of nourishment going on with this one. And so our bodies need that type of nourishment. And it's very important. And this is a perfect example of how well this affects our body in a very positive way.
Yeah, I think it really demonstrates what you were saying, Angie, about how people felt the hydration in the shower and drinking the water. And here's like, proof of it.
Mm, right. And of course, nutrition is also a really big thing. Today, people like to have fast food and really aren't thinking about the impact of what they're putting in their body on their organs. And so our body has different needs, whether it's for our bones and our ligaments, or whether it's for women's issues or for men, or all of the different parts of our body. We have something for everyone. We also have this amazing shake, and people have just really found that NIKKEN supplements, of all natural, all real healthy, have made a difference. I know that the women's nutrition that you see here, the women's daily vitamin, made a big difference for me with hot flashes and waking up in the middle of the night being in balance. Now I am in balance. These products are absolutely wonderful. Everybody can benefit from taking the nutritionals that NIKKEN has to offer.
Yeah, one of the things I like is how simple they make it. Immune
I
support,
know.
clarity for
Yep.
mental clarity, heart health. It's really
Yep.
simple. We
It
also
is
have
simple.
great
Yep.
skincare that's all organic, and it's a full, wonderful line, and
Mhm.
it makes your skin feel really fresh and smooth
Mhm.
and youthful. And a unique hair care that actually has magnetic particles in it to make your hair feel vibrant and full-bodied. So really
Mhm.
excellent line of
Mhm.
personal care products with no chemicals and all natural.
Mhm.
Well, energy is all about what we human beings are about. And these products that you see here help replicate nature and the air and the sun that Barbara spoke about earlier. And this week, we were visiting my dad in the nursing home in Vermont, and I literally, upon Bob's suggestion, took my mag steps out and put him on his feet because there was a lot of swelling and puffiness, and he's having a little bit of a challenge. So I literally left mine in his shoes, and we'll see what happens. But we know what happens as far as when we're in the car for those long drives. We find that we need that magnetic energy on our feet. The tape has been a huge friends of ours who are exercising, and after workout they would always complain about the stiff muscles. With the duct tape really helps with that. And people that we know have the knee wrap, which again helps the body repair itself. So all of these things are really wonderful for replacing what we sometimes lose the energy with.
And Angie, what attracted you to this company and these solutions?
As a registered nurse for 33 years, I had seen all the ups and downs, and mostly downs, the side effects of medications, and the how things were going, that it was not really fun anymore. And when I was introduced to this, I saw this is non-invasive, non-toxic, non-chemical, and it takes care of the whole body in terms of, it addresses all the issues. So for me, it was a continuation of good care,
Okay.
having good health and longevity.
Thank you, Angie. That's great. And Sue Ellen?
Well, rest is really amazing. That if you can get into the deep restorative sleep that we all need, it's now known to be one of the major contributors to whether or not we're healthy or not. So if you're not sleeping well because you're uncomfortable on your bed or whatever, these products would make a difference for you. Having had some issues with my hip for many, many years, and tossing and turning because I just couldn't quite get comfortable. My first night on this sleep system, and I woke up without that problem with my hip anymore. So it was really wonderful. And now with the sleeping bag, and of course we have the little travel comforter, you can be in a cocoon all night long, supporting your body as it's getting into a very deep restorative sleep. Really, this is an amazing system.
And I sense from you that you've just moved from educating young people to educating people of all ages about natural ways to stay healthy. Would you agree?
I would agree. And it's really a lot of fun. And seeing the results, I taught preschool and kindergarten. I did see a lot of results, but the big results is when they get out of high school and get into college and do something with their lives. But this, I have seen people have results within just a matter of weeks from the time that I've introduced something to them. So it's very rewarding. What could be better for my retirement than to be helping other people, educating them, and seeing the improvement in their lives?
Well, from some of the stories you've told me, it takes minutes sometimes, not weeks.
It does. Yeah.
This is a great demonstration of a plant. And, if a plant has the opportunity to be in a greenhouse, it can recover and repair and be really healthy. And what NIKKEN has done is put together a whole wellness home from what we've shared with you. And so we as human beings get to thrive in this wonderful environment. And we don't really have to do much, just live, breathe, eat, walk, sit. So Bob is going to join us now and talk a little bit about the gig economy and our financial status here.
Yes, so one of the areas of balance is our financial needs. And you can see some of the items on the left-hand side. And I'm sure people that are attending are either have had challenges in some of these areas or certainly know of others who have as well. And so clearly there is financial need in our society. And we can talk a little bit about that as we move forward in terms of what's happened with the economy. Since 2008, with the big downturn, many corporations have changed. They're not as employee friendly. Job security doesn't exist. And multiple careers is definitely a norm. And there's a high level of dissatisfaction with work for many, many people. And so the gig economy has really evolved from that. It's freelancing, it's self-employment, it's where people are taking charge and supplementing their income by working multiple types of enterprises. So it's self-employment, freelancing, and again, it's leveraging technology. So NIKKEN has technology that allows us to communicate with our customers, to provide them with the kind of information they need to be able to benefit from all of these products. And we call it the NIKKEN advantage because NIKKEN, like many of these other gig economy options, is very easy to integrate in our life. Angie and I are retired, and yet we're able to do this for part of the time. It wasn't a substantial cost to enter it. Risk is very low. And we love the collaboration, the mentoring, and the leadership that's all part of the process. Both we're able to receive that and we're able to share that with others. So it's extremely rewarding and fulfilling to be able to participate in this. So again, we're sharing our experience and helping others to live a more active and vibrant life. So it's extremely rewarding. We're part of a community, as you can tell on this call, of like-minded people who want to take responsibility for their own well-being, but also share that with others so that others can benefit. And it certainly helps in terms of personal development. It keeps us sharp. It keeps us involved with other people that want to grow and really provide good service to others. And so we're making a difference, and it's very rewarding.
Can hear the passion in your voice, Bob. Thank you. So as you've been listening, where are you in your health? Where are you in your ability to, give back to your community? Are you staying inspired in life? Is what you're doing getting you closer to where you want to be in the future? And, planting seeds and nurturing seedlings, we are inviting people to come and discover what we have. So what appeals to you? Is there something here that could help you with your health that you'd like to explore? Would you like to be able to be more healthy, fit, and active, or help someone you know to find out about this? It's very easy to become a customer. It's free. It's online. You have support and help in numerous ways. And if you're anything like us, once you start having these wonderful results, you won't be able to help yourself from sharing with other people and enriching lives. And in that, you can earn a wonderful income. So I'm going to invite Maggie to unmute herself, and that she and Suzanne are going to have a conversation.
Thank you, Barbara.
Great.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hi, Maggie. This is such a treat.
From here too.
Yes. So the beauty of this business is getting to meet some amazing people. And Maggie is one of those amazing people that I would have never met had it not been for NIKKEN. We've known each other for, I don't know how many years, Maggie? A while.
A long time.
A long time. And Barbara shared a little bit about your background. Can you expand on that and how you got introduced to NIKKEN?
Yeah, it's one of those things that appeared in my life because I had been asking for solutions to 30 years of chronic pain, Suzanne. That was my initial interest, was the finding something that wasn't another surgery, wasn't another medication or whatever. And it was through a really dear friend who's a healthcare professional who discovered this through a colleague. And she said, you know, I think this is what you're looking for. And I said, great. You know, I didn't know what it was, but I was just excited to find a solution. So I was living 500 miles north of where I now live and where she lived. So I flew down, and she just was wise enough to not just present the products, which she did beautifully. And I got it. Maybe it's because I grew up on a farm. I just got the energy idea. I knew that, you know, if I can be close to nature, my body's going to function better. And, you know, that's pretty hard to do in our modern day and age. So, but what she really did is introduce me to this 5 pillars of health that you can see on my wall behind me. And she said, you know, there's way more to this than just these products. Yes, they're phenomenal. They helped her with an issue that she'd had for 8 years. And, you know, they resolved my 30 years of chronic pain very quickly. But what really drew me in was the philosophy. I had actually been developing programs for the college and basing them on a holistic curriculum, because I've always believed as an educator that people are more than just a brain to pack full of stuff. So I was helping students to create kind of a life plan, I guess, based on what do you really want in different areas of your life. So the 5 pillars of health really captivated me. And Mr. Masuda's story still captivates me. This humble, wonderful man who wanted to make a difference in the world, from having almost nothing, poor health, poor finances, to create what he has created because of his belief in humans being more. That if you give people something to raise them up and to make a difference and to give them, you know, balance in those 5 areas, magic is going to happen. He didn't imagine that it would become as big as it has, according to an interview that he had with Mike DiMuccio a few years ago. But look what has been planted. You talked about planting seeds. And 42 years ago, this man planted a seed called a mag step, you know, the magnetic insoles. And from there, people shared that because it was making a difference. So people sharing good news is an old story, and it's a very important story. So when I looked at those 5 pillars of health, and I thought, wow, am I ever out of balance? I have this chronic pain. I'm working way too many hours. I was a full-time graduate student doing yet another degree. And I don't know, I just didn't have the time to be the best mom, the best friend, even the best, you know, professor that I wanted to be, because I was spending more energy than I was getting. So this just made sense on an intuitive level. So I jumped in, not knowing anything. I didn't even know what network marketing was. And there was no internet then for me to even research that. I just thought, well, this looks like a really cool way to do business. I don't have to go back to school. I can, you know, earn while I learn. I can help people. It just had all the elements that I really value. And you know, that chart you showed a little while ago, that what people want. And, you know, 22 years later, I look back on this and I thank my stars that I said yes right away and just jumped in and learned as I went along, because it allowed me to quit my my tenured position, which shocked a lot of people. But I just wanted more out of life. I wanted to be part of a like-minded community that wasn't bitching all the time, excuse my French, about this and that and wah, wah, wah. And that was wearing me down. Plus the politics just generally of education, post-secondary education. So every meeting I've been to over the years, and I've been to as many of the large events as I can, because I get so fired up by talking with people like all of you whom I've met, because there's a sense of we are doing something that we could never do alone by being part of this global community with a common cause. And I think, and this has just been reinforced over the last 22 years with NIKKEN, what we really want as human beings is purpose. We want to do something that aligns with our goals and our desires to make a difference in the world, no matter what field that is in. And here is a turnkey business that you can step into that gives you a vehicle to pursue that purpose, to deepen your passion, and to make money. Like, there's no downside here. It gave me time and money to do things with my kids that I couldn't have done before, and now with my grandchildren. They call me Gangster Gigi. Their name for me is Gigi instead of Grandma. And they just think I'm the coolest grandma because I do all these crazy things like stand-up comedy and music. I'm in a band, for heaven's sakes. And I just have the best life because of NIKKEN. I don't think I would have been as shining in my core as I am now if I kept in that system, working for somebody else and wearing myself down. I mean, we're losing so much potential in people because they're not able to find that vehicle that they can get in. Like, this is truly the best Tesla on the planet. It's an energy machine. So I think I have more passion now than I've ever had about NIKKEN because I see the pieces falling into place. And unfortunately, it's out of hard times for a lot of people. It's downturns in the economy, losing jobs. And I've always celebrated the loss of jobs because they haven't really ever made sense to me. My father said, I can't believe you're working for somebody else. Follow your dream, which he was able to do as a farmer. But now people are waking up and looking around and going, where can I find my joy? That's what they're looking for. And we have the ability not only to give them that if they like what they see, but to bring them into a community that's already formed and already thriving and already global. And I went to France again last year for the third time in 3 years, and it was a business trip because I signed up people in Germany and Austria on this trip because they were like-minded too. We were on a tour with Carolyn Mace, if you know who she is. I mean, just a fabulous life I have, right? And it's business, but what is business? To me, this is true business because this is an expression of who I am. So I'm going to stop because I get really carried away.
So Maggie, since I've known you for 20 years, your energy just keeps growing. And it's very evident that you are still very excited about NIKKEN. And I know that you've had some amazing experiences to start, but you also recently needed the products to recover again. Can you give us 1 minute on what you did and talk about jumping off that cliff too, if you would?
Sure. Like I think that we're on this earth to continue to grow and change. And so I take a lot of personal development courses. And one of the ones I did not too long ago was a very intensive program. And the last part of it was a week in the wilderness. And we worked with the elements. We worked with water, we worked with fire, we worked with air, we worked with earth. And I'm not a swimmer. I don't know how to swim. I mean, I can dog paddle, but I'm not a swimmer. And one of the challenges was to jump off a 30-foot cliff without a life jacket, because you can't jump with a life jacket that high or you'd hurt yourself, into freezing cold water in the Kananaskis River in Alberta. And I looked at all these young people and I said, yeah, let those young kids do it, right? But there's something inside me that said, no, you need to do this, because to me it represented, if I can do this, which is so far out of my comfort zone, I can really do anything. And so I did it. It scared the what out of me, because the hardest part was not the jumping, it was getting back to shore, believe it or not. But it was absolutely life-changing. And I went diamond after that. So it was certainly a metaphor for putting on your big girl panties and just getting in there, even if you don't know what to do or how to do it. When you're surrounded by a supportive community, which I was at that time, anything is possible. And that's what NIKKEN is to me too. So, I mean, challenges are always going to come up, you know. I've been away from my NIKKEN sleep system and my wellness home for 2 weeks because I've been actually back and forth most of this year because my brother was diagnosed with mesothelioma, which is from working with asbestos. And he passed away 2 weeks ago today. So I was there. And in Canada, medically assistance in dying is legal. I don't know if you know that. So people who have a terminal illness, they can actually choose to have euthanasia, I guess you'd call it. And so I had the honor of being in the room with him and some of our family members. It was very stressful, but it was such a beautiful, beautiful time. And just to know that we have that option here, because I believe it's the most humane thing when somebody is suffering like my brother was. So that was really huge. And then his funeral a week later had 1,000 people. So I'm standing, you know, on my feet greeting people, and you know, it takes a lot of energy to do that. And I'm 71, so I thought, man, am I ever glad I got my insoles in? You know, I'm glad I got my necklace on. I'm glad that I'm going to be going home to my bed in Vancouver so that I can recover. So yes, I was tired. Yes, I had a lot of emotional turmoil, but you know, I came back to this wonderful NIKKEN community. I mean, not that I was ever away from them, but when I was so focused on the family thing, it was me and the family. And coming back and just having this influx of love and support from so many people has been tremendous. So I really think it's such a package deal that you don't get anywhere else.
Thank you, Maggie. That was beautiful.
So Suzanne, we're coming to the end, and I would just like to hear from you. What attracted you to NIKKEN?
Much like Maggie, I was attracted to the philosophy. It really caught my attention, but I needed the products from a product standpoint. I had a lot of health challenges after a car accident, and the products helped me recover from a broken neck and a lot of everyday challenges. So once I got my life back, I started sharing these products with people, and it created an additional source of income for me. And then recently was outsourced in the IT world, and fortunately had this business that I could move into. So, you know, the beauty of doing something that has a purpose, is fulfilling, keeps me very happy, and the ability to work with great people and the ability to do this with family members is an added bonus.
Great. Thank you. And Maggie, it was such a pleasure to have you join us tonight. And I want to thank all the presenters. And everybody, please get back to the person that invited you on this call so that you can get more information. Thank you for joining us.